Seeing number 2 above. Does that make sense? Okay. Then evaluating the credibility of evidence or statements. This one actually comes from our Long Beach City College assessment tool. A news anchor reports that alien abductions happen, showing a clip from a 1950s science fiction film to back up his claim. Suppose you also recently read in a tabloid article several testimonials from people who claim to have been abducted by aliens. What can you conclude about the evidence provided to support the existence of alien abductions? Okay, so first choice, people who report the news on television have to tell the truth so their statements can be taken at face value. Since the news anchor person provided evidence, the report of aliens may be credible. Citing a science fiction film is not credible evidence for the reality of alien abduction. Neither is information from a tabloid article. D, testimonials in the tabloid article are credible, but clips from a science fiction film are not. And E, clips from a science fiction film are credible, but not testimonials from a tabloid article. The right answer?
C.
Is C. That's correct. Okay, we're doing really well. Good critical thinkers here. Okay, so that's, again, addressing whether you can identify credible evidence. It turns out, by the way, that another thing that the Long Beach City College instrument measures is ability to distinguish fact from opinion, which is another aspect of analyzing arguments. And that happens to be the thing that our students are best at, just in case you're interested in that kind of fun. They don't always get these ones that seem obvious to us correct, so we have a little work to do. Okay, then this one has to do with recognizing assumptions. And we're told in the following statements, determine whether you think that the given assumptions are taken for granted. So the statement we're thinking about here is we need to save time in getting there, so we'd better go by plane. And so number 1, this is the thing we're supposed to consider. Going by plane will take less time than going by some other means of transportation. Is that an assumption that's made? Okay, does seem to be. There is plane service available to us for at least part of the distance to the destination. Okay, so it seems like that assumption is behind there, otherwise we wouldn't be considering this option. And 3, travel by plane is more convenient than travel by train. Okay, so this is not made because convenience sort of broadens the scope. We were just talking about timeliness, and now we're talking about convenience, and that might be things like being screened as a passenger, having to stand in line to get your baggage checked, and things like that. So yeah, that one is not one of the assumptions that's made by that statement. And again, we've kind of covered that, but this is the explanation for why each of those is a right or wrong choice. And again, this is the thing about multiple choice items is that the criteria has to be that there is a right answer for them. Okay, number 5, identifying informal fallacies. So what we decided to do, and so I copied that procedure in this item, for our Long Beach City College instrument, we decided that we wouldn't expect students to already know the names of fallacies, like straw man fallacy or slippery slope fallacy, and know the definition. So what we did, again, is something like this. We described what the informal fallacy was and then asked students to recognize it. So a false dilemma claims that only 2 alternatives exist when there are other alternatives. Which of the following represents a false dilemma?